You also, man, you've been going viral because you said you better than D-Wade.
I did say that.
Yeah.
But you know what, Shannon, that's what made me who I am.
You honestly believe that too?
Yeah. But that's what gave me my edge.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know, I never cared about what people thought of me or
Right.
other people's opinion. When I step on the court, I'm better than all of y'all.
Right.
You know, and that's what made me who I am. And I'm going to work toward that.
You got to believe that, though.
You know what I'm saying? And so I'm never going, like, I'm retired now and I can change up whatever. And I knew I was retired then when I said it, but like, that's who I was and that was my age.
Right.
I felt like every time I stepped on the court, I was the best player. And that's why I made the accolades I made.
Right. Why didn't it work out with Kyrie and the Celtics?
Man, I don't know, man, because I thought, you know, in the preseason, I was at that game, at the practice. He said, I'm going to be a Clipper for life. I mean, a Celtic for life, and I'm going to re-sign. And, man, but, you know, Kyrie different. You know, he think on a whole
different level. He on a whole different
wavelength, a whole different stratosphere. And I thought that could be something that was going to work out. They can win a championship with him. But, you know, Kyrie, you know, it didn't work out with him and Bron. It didn't work out with him and KD in Brooklyn. It didn't work out, you know, so you never know what Kyrie is thinking.
Right.
We would have loved to have him in Boston for all them years, but it worked out. You know, it allowed Jason and Jalen to grow on their own because, you know, Kyrie was the OG and, you know, but everything happens for a reason.
What do you expect from the Clippers? They got Chris Paul, they got Bradley Beal, they got James Harden. Kawhi seems to be healthy. He worked out for like a month after the season. Talking to T. Lue. T. Lue said he wanted to make sure his body, he missed half of the season last year, but he looked good, and they're a different team when he plays. Mm-hmm. What do you expect from the Clippers with Kawhi being healthy and all the additions?
Man, I think they'll be competitive, but I just think their time is kind of past.
Yeah.
You know, they older. James Harden is older. Kawhi is older, dealt with so many surgeries, and Bill is older. Mm-hmm. It's just like this is a young man's game.
Yeah.
You know, and these young teams is good.
Right.
OKC, Minnesota, and you still got Denver over there. I think they'll be competitive, and Ty Lue's a great coach, and y'all got talent, but them is a lot of big names, and we all know that older big names usually don't win.
They don't win.
And so they'll be good. They may be better than the Lakers, maybe, but I don't see it. I don't see it.
Right. John Wall called it a career. Are you surprised at how soon it ended for him?
Man, John had a lot of lengthy injuries. Mm-hmm. You know, sometimes that can take a toll on you mentally. You know,
then I think he lost his mom.
Yeah. And, you know, he's made a lot of money.
Yeah.
You know, in this game. And, you know, he probably didn't accomplish all the things he wanted to accomplish.
Right.
But, man, he had a great career.
He had an unbelievable career.
Man, he had a great career. He's been an all-star. He was the #1 pick, man. Yep. My shout-out to the young fella. I'm glad I had to spend a year with him, give him some game, you know, and I text him from time to time, hit him up, and just be like, you know, how you doing, young fella? And, you know, he has nothing to hold his head down. And I know it didn't end the way he wanted it to end.
Correct.
And we all
want that storybook ending, though.
Yeah, we all want the storybook ending, but sometimes it don't go that way. But I mean, you know what? He had a storybook. Man,
coming from where he came from and being a
hundreds of millions. Yeah. Why is that on a storybook, Shannon?
Yeah, you're right.
We always got to judge on championships and all that. Like what?
Or retiring on our terms.
Yeah, like no, he's made hundreds of millions of dollars. He's played in the NBA. He was the #1 pick. He got a storybook life.
Yes.
How about that?
You're right. You walk to work 20 miles in a bathrobe. The Knicks. You was convinced the Knicks was going to lose to the Celtics.
Man, I was sick. I was convinced. I hate the Knicks, and they hate me. They hate me. You know, that's a Boston, New York thing, man. And I know I put my foot in my mouth. I said that on national television, and to this day, I don't regret it. And people everywhere I go say, "Did you really walk?"
You saw it. You saw me in my robe walk inside the road.
You saw it.
You got a new show, Truth After Dark.
Yeah.
Where it seems you giving advice about relationships. And people seem to not want to take advice from anybody that's not married, that's not in a relationship for 20 plus years, been stable. Why do you feel you're one of the best to give advice on relationships?
I mean, because I've seen all sides of a relationship. You know what I'm saying? I've been married in long-term relationships for 10 plus years, a couple of them. I've had kids. I've had long-term girlfriends. I've been on both sides, so I can speak on it. Like, it's like you being in the NFL. You can speak on it.
Yes.
Like, I can speak on being married. If I'm not married now, I can speak on it.
Right.
Because I was married for a long time.
Yeah.
You know, and I've been engaged and I've had girlfriends and like I just, you know, I see my perspective the way I see it, and it ain't for everybody.
Right.
You know, I mean, I try to speak for everybody, but you know, everybody different.
Right.
I just go off a lot of my experience, Shannon, and you can take it how you want it.
Right.
You know, but like I've seen it all, and even if I didn't experience, I've saw other people experience, and I learned from them, and that's why I feel like I'm more than qualified to give, you know, a relationship advice.
You once said that marriage is for poor people. It offers no advantage to a man.
Yes.
So under that premise, would you get married again?
That's a good question, man. It like, yeah, I'll get married again because I'm getting old.
So you want a hospice wife? You want somebody to take?
Yeah, I'm getting old, Shay. Yeah, I'll get married again. I mean, it's just. I hear too many of the horror stories, like especially for, like I said, old people and poor people. Like, think about a man, successful, rich man. Like, I hate seeing stories like she got 70% of his wealth, and she got the kids, and she like feel like you stripped a man down of his dignity.
Yeah,
like I hate seeing them stories. Man, it just drives me nuts, and it's too many of them. And the percentages ain't in our favor. As successful, not only black, just people in that upper tax bracket, it's just like no advantage for us. And I'm not saying don't do it, just, you know, wait till you get old. or you broke.
Did you and your wife grow apart because you had, like you said, you'd been married 10 plus years, you got kids? How did you come to the conclusion, you're like, you know what, babe, we need to part ways?
Man, you know, I think it happens over time. It wasn't like a sit down, one sit down.
Yeah, no, there's a continuation.
Just, you know, and it happened in retirement. And a lot of players, you know, get divorced in retirement.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's a whole new dynamic that happens.
You home
like,
all the time.
Yeah, because like it's cool when you in and out. You miss each other. You're going through whatever you're going through, and you can deal with it. And you know, she get on, go to the game, highlight herself, and she in the limelight still too. But then the lights cut off, and now you coming home telling the kids to do this and changing the whole family dynamic.
Yes,
and it causes a rift. You know what I'm saying? And it just like it causes like you start side eyeing, looking at each other like, nah, I wouldn't allow this if I was home all the time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then it just causes a divide. And I just think like, kind of like that's what happened.
Yeah.
You know, the divide and the communication wasn't there in my situation. And, you know, and it happens to a lot of us.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard to make that adjustment after you done playing.
To be home all the time?
And then now you home all the time, then you just get up and be like, I need to go somewhere.
Right.
And now you arguing because you got
why you go like, you ain't got no practice.
Yeah,
you ain't got no.
Where you going? Like now because you just so antsy. You used to traveling every week.
You used to leaving
every week. You just like I don't know how to sit down.
Right.
And then now that's something.
That's a conflict.
That's a conflict. And you know, if I had it to do all over again, what I know now, I would have been probably more sensitive to their needs, instead of being selfish. You know what I'm saying? It was selfish.
Well, you got to be selfish to be great.
Yeah, and
you got to have you hear LeBron when LeBron talks. LeBron says, "I've denied." You know, and the first thing he says is family, because when you what you and I did, because family is the closest. That's why we mention them first, is that we apologize to them for being selfish. You've got, in order to be great, you got to be selfish,
right?
Because you're gonna miss recitals. You're going to miss certain things. You're going to miss this because guess what? Oh, I can't go play in the game because my daughter's recital. Well, I can't do to celebrate my anniversary because I gotta miss this game. So because I got to do my wife's anniversary. So you become selfish.
Right.
The greater the player, the more selfish he or she is.
Right. I've said this. I said I took those traits that made me who I am, and it affected my marriage.
You take it in a relationship, it'll ruin it.
Yep, it affected the relationship.
Yes.
Because now you're seeing it all the time when you're home.
Yes.
Selfishness, doing what you want to, just so many things, and like you just.
And they might let it be, they'll let it slide.
So
when you got a basketball, when you play basketball, you play football, you play a professional sport, or you have a business. Right. But when you retire and says, oh, I want to spend more time with the family.
Yeah.
That ain't what you want. Man, you ain't been there 20 years.
Right.
And then you gonna come in there and think she gonna let you change everything and how the system work.
Yep.
Ain't gonna happen.
I didn't know what the system was. I tried to come in there and change it. So, but to this day, everybody cool.
Yeah, that's great.
Kids is where everybody get along. So, like it's an experience.
Yes.
And you go through it, you learn from it, and you move on.
Want to join Club Shay Shay? Become an official member by hitting that subscribe button, where you never know who's going to be joining us for drinks and conversation. Don't be late to the party because we like to do something before two something.